Hey guys, it's me, Miss Jaidynn Fierce, and guess what? It is once again that time of the week. It is time for my review of episode 6 of RuPaul's Drag Race. Are you ready? Here we go. So the episode starts out, everybody is around the mirror, and everyone's talking about Acid Betty's elimination. Some people are happy that she's gone. Some people are sad that she's gone. Me personally, I like Acid Betty's aesthetic. However, I would say I would like to meet her in person. Honey, she was kind of cunty on the show, but you can't judge somebody just strictly off of a show. So I would like to meet her personally before I make any judgments or anything like that. Cause, ooh, girl, she had an attitude pretty much every episode. I am sad to see her go. I would have loved to see what else she was gonna bring to the runway. I live for Miss Acid Betty. So they were talking about her elimination, and Naomi Smalls was talking about how she just feels so embarrassed and feels bad to be in the bottom two. Girl, I know how you feel to be in that horrible bottom two. When Ru says, the time has come for you to lip sync for your life. Actually, the worst phrase is, I'm sorry, my dear, but you are up for a lemon lime. That part is like the worst words you can hear. Honey, she turned it out and I lived, and I'm happy to see that my sister Naomi Smalls lives another day. It is getting close to the end, ladies and gentlemen. Like, we only have what, 6 people left? Like Medea said, 6 people left, I think. Or is it 7? 6 or 7? So everybody's talking about Naomi Smalls' looks. Honestly, I think her looks are really good. I think they're flawless. I think she's flawless. I think she's amazing. You know, I get the bra and panty thing, but at the end of the day, she still serves it up, honey. And as long as you serving it, I guess that's all that matters, honey. Serve it all the way to the top 3, and then you can get that crown. That's my motto, even though I didn't get the crown. They sent me right on home. They sent me packing right on home. Just so nasty and so rude. In RuPaul's Drag Race, I feel like everybody always waits for the Snatch Game episode, which was last week, and everybody waits for the time when RuPaul says, the library is open. My favorite read, Naomi Smalls, your wardrobe reminds me of a legendary Drag Race contestant, Nicole Paige Brooks. I fell out. I was like, yes, you better shade her and shade my sister Nicole. Just rude. But I lived though. So Bob wins the reading competition, which I already figured that. Bob wins, what was it, $1,500 I think, of jewelry from Fierce Drag Jewels. When I tell you, I would have been hopping, skipping. I think I actually would have did a split for the first time if I would have got to win that, because I love me some good old drag jewelry. You see these crust busters I got on my ear? They nice and old. They got glue all over them. See, honey, I love me some good old jewelry. So congratulations to you, Bob, honey. Congratulations for slaying the game once again, girl. Yes, ma'am. This week's Maxi Challenge is hashtag Wizards of Drag. Now, let me tell you something. For some reason, I am in absolute love with this season's challenges. Like, honestly, my season, I didn't like hardly any of the challenges. I couldn't do them myself. But I am really loving, like, this season and, like, the challenges and everything. Like, I was just like, ooh, good, honey, a creation challenge. Now, this is a challenge Miss Jaidynn Fierce can slay, honey. This week, we have a special guest. And it's the one and only Little Women of LA. I've seen a few episodes of that show. It is absolutely hilarious. I love it. I love all the gals. They're so beautiful, so pretty. However, I must say my favorite must be Elena, because I think she is so gorgeous and she's so cute and she's so spicy and she just gives me everything I need to survive. Not only do the girls have to do a creation of a costume for them, plus a costume for one of the little ladies of LA, but then they gotta turn around and make an interpretive dance. Now, what gags me is Kim Chi, because we know my sister Kim Chi, she don't have the most coordination, and she's not a dancer, but she's fierce and she still slays it. But my pole thing, I was like, oh Lord. I was already nervous because I was like, oh my gosh, I hope they don't put Kim Chi in the bottom too, honey, because I really don't want my sister to go home. Po thing. I hope she'll be able to slay the stage. For some reason, I know this girl can always turn it out. It don't matter what it is, honey, she always slays. And that's the thing that I live for Miss Kim Chi. So let's talk about this interpretive dance. Miss Kim Chi is really just slapping her little lady all on the floor, just being violent. And I was just like, and she's like, doing all of this stuff, and I was like, girl, what? Yeah, you're about to be in the bottom two. Girl, you're about to be in the hashtag bottom two. All the girls are creating their costumes. Some girls look like they have a concept, some girls are not, some girls are hot gluing, and some girls are sewing. Now, Miss Robbie Turner is having issues. What am I saying? Issues. She's having issues with the sewing machine. Let me tell you, this is some inside tea. Hashtag inside tea. Those sewing machines are the most raggedy sewing machines that I have ever used. I did not like those sewing machines. My sewing machine over here in my drag room, it's all nice and it's computerized and it's got a little screen on it and some cute little buttons, honey, because I like high-tech stuff. That machine is like one of those 1902, you almost gotta crank it for it to run, because those sewing machines are hashtag not cute. I'm gonna need for Mama Ru and production to invest in some new, nice, computerized sewing machines, please, honey. Because ain't nobody got time for the manual sewing machines, or ain't nobody got time for that. And then they don't want to sew, and then they get stuck, and then you're just sitting there and you're like, you only have a certain amount of time to create your costume. On my season, it was a struggle to try to find a sewing machine that actually worked. Now, the challenge my season, going back to season 7, when I played Bianca Del Rio, I didn't bring a gown, or I didn't have any gowns that look anything like Bianca Del Rio. And I wish they would have showed this part, but they didn't show it, however. But I made that gown, that red gown, in about 30 minutes, honey. When I tell you I went to that rack and grabbed that fabric and cut it up, made me a cute little gown in about 30 minutes. And then Violet and Max, they helped me put the little flowers and the little embellishments with the fascinator. Honey, they had me together, honey. But I must say, that was probably the one time the sewing machine worked, thank God. But other than that, honey, those sewing machines are hashtag trash. It's time for the runway. One of my most favorite times on the show. And guess what it's time for? It is time for, am I living for the look or am I dying for the look? So it's time for the runway, and it's one of my most favorite parts of the episode, and I am so excited. By the way, one of my favorite people in the universe, one of the most sweet, most laid-back people is on the show. My season, my favorite judge was Jordin Sparks. I love me some Jordin Sparks. And this season, they have the one and only Todrick Hall. And I am a huge fan of Todrick Hall. And Todrick is absolutely amazing. And he looks sickening in that coat. I'm like, honey, well, why don't he get on the runway? Because he'll win. Coming down the runway, out of the girls, the one I was living for the most had to be Thorgy Thor in her Grinch pubes. I love the look. Now, it seems like the judges were just like, oh, well, you dumbed it down or whatever it may be. But at the end of the day, you have to think that it was a creation challenge. And she still sold that. And it was snatched on her body. And it was also snatched on her partner's body. You can clearly tell that, honey, it was from the, what they call it? In the Emerald City, one short day in the Emerald City. Is that the right musical? I hope so. In the Emerald City. But I really love the look. Whether or not it's dumbed down or whatever they said, I loved it because it was cohesive. It fit the theme, and I feel like they have just been discrediting her like every episode. They like underestimate her. Like, I feel like she's absolutely amazing, but they never let her win any challenges or anything like that. And that's the thing that kind of sucks. I lived, so I don't care what nobody else says. I don't care about the Grinch pubes and all that other stuff. But I lived. So that was definitely my favorite. The look I was dying for was Derek Barry's, honey. She just put on a undergarment and then wrapped a piece of fabric around. I said, yes, girl, you better wrap a piece of fabric. My favorite read had to be Michelle Visage. When she was like, I sewed everything myself. And Michelle was just like, it's just an undergarment with some fabric wrapped around it with horse penises on your shoulders. I got my life. I got my life. I got my eternity. I got my well-being. Bob comes down the runway, and I must say, her zipper busted. So I must give her props because you don't have a lot of time to get something together. And for her to make a totally new look out of nowhere, I applaud her. However, I didn't like the look. I mean, her little girl, honey, she had Elena, she had her snatched. But yeah, it just wasn't cohesive and everything. And I was just like, oh, I was biting my nails the whole time because I was like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. I was just like, this may be the moment where Bob the drag queen actually has to lip sync. I was sitting on the edge of my chair. I was just like, oh my gosh, is Bob gonna have to lip sync? Is she gonna go home? What's going on? And luckily, Rue says she's safe. I feel like Robbie Turner was already in trouble before they even announced the bottom two. And this is because I feel like Chi Chi DeVayne, she's a dancer, and I was thinking, well, if this is a dance song, she may be going home. Also, Derek Barry, she dances as well. And she does her Britney and she whips her hair, and I was just like, Miss Robbie Turner, it doesn't matter who they pick, but Miss Robbie Turner will be in some boiling, broiling hot water if this song is a dance song and it is very upbeat. The bottom two is Derek Barry and Robbie Turner. So the music starts, and honey, as they playing that, I don't care, I love it, I don't. That's my jam, honey. I love that song. When I heard this song come on, I was like, whoop. Po Robbie, I love you, sister, but I think you're about to go home. Robbie, you know, she's at the beginning, she's feeling her gig. She ain't got no squiggly arms going on, but she is feeling her gig, and I was like, okay, I see her. And then here comes Miss Derek. Miss Derek, she's whipping that hair, honey. She's getting on her knees. She's giving energy. She's giving power. She is giving performance. She's giving you everything. And I was just like, ooh, sorry, sister. You might be going home, Miss Robbie Turner. This might be your week of unfortunate events. Robbie is starting to de-drag herself. Now, we all know that most of the time, 9 times out of 10, it may be 10 times out of 10, actually, if you start ripping yourself out of drag, that does not get you any brownie points at all with Rue. Usually, if you start snatching off your wig, snatching off your clothes, honey, she gonna send you right on home. She gonna look at you just like this. So at that point, I was already like, Robbie's going home. And if Robbie stays, it's gonna be a miracle. So the judges deliberate, and after the deliberation, they say, Derek Barry, Shantae, you stay. And then, sad to say, my sister Robbie has to go home. I really like Robbie. I wish her the best. I think she's a sickening, fierce drag queen. I can't wait to see what she's gonna do in the future. Good luck to you, sister. I can't wait to see you on the road. After the lip sync, Derek breaks down. She breaks down, and I can completely relate. You know, after you do something and you want to be there and you feel like, you know, you finally have another chance, it's a big thing. And my favorite part of the whole emotional breakdown, and I know that's so sad that this is gonna be my favorite part of the episode, was when she was like, can I leave the stage now? And I was just like, oh, that's so cute. Derek Barry lives to see another week. I cannot wait for next week's episode. I have been living for season 8. I am loving these episodes. I'm loving the challenges. I'm loving the girls. I am so excited to tune in to next week's episode. Meanwhile, you can catch me on my YouTube channel. You can also catch me on Instagram. You can follow me on Twitter as well at Jaidynn Fierce. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. This is my review of season 8, episode 6 of RuPaul's Drag Race, and I can't wait to see you guys next time. Love you guys. Bye. Oh, and before I forget, just remember to work that puss.